Hey YouTube, Wes here checking in with my vinyl inbox. Finally, vinyl inbox for February 2017. Hope you're all doing well, having a great day, great night, whenever it is you're watching this. Again, sorry, I have not just been making videos at all recently. Just various things going on in my life. Nothing bad, really. Just don't have the time to dedicate to making videos as much recently, but hopefully that'll change soon. I'm itching to get back into it, so I'm gonna have to find some time somewhere to work on some videos, and sort of going through a change in my job and stuff, and that's kind of been keeping me occupied with other things, and it's gonna give me some other different types of free time. So anyway, before we go on too long, let's go ahead and get into this vinyl inbox. First thing I have to share with you this month is one CD I bought, one new release I bought for February, and that is the new Ryan Adams album, Prisoner, released in February, I believe, or maybe January. Yeah, interesting new album by Ryan Adams. I'm somewhat of a fan of Ryan Adams. I really like Ryan Adams and the Cardinals stuff. His solo stuff is just okay to me. I enjoy it. I don't listen to it a lot, but this is a really interesting album. First of all, it's a breakup album. It's very moody, very emotional, but it's not whiny. That's my biggest complaint about breakup albums, is a lot of times they end up just being really whiny and really just annoying and grating on me, and I just can't stand breakup albums for the most part because of that. But this one, it doesn't come off as whiny to me. It's more of just the emotions of going through a breakup, and it's not a sort of a woe is me kind of thing. It's just, this is how I'm feeling kind of thing, which I'm okay with, and I like it and I enjoy it. A really good album, really strong album. Lots of those sort of Americana sounds. It's got kind of an 80s Bruce Springsteen kind of vibe to it. Really good stuff, and I really enjoyed this album. I know I've seen a lot of people been picking this up on vinyl. That's good. It's a good album, and yeah, so that was my one CD pickup for the month. Got a few more 45s to add to my top 40 at 40 collection. I just turned 40 a couple days ago now, and I'm still working on this. I wanted to have this done by now, but just haven't been buying as many of these as I like. But we have Carry On, My Wayward Son by Kansas. Next up, Manfred Mann's Earth Band with Blinded by the Light. Should put what the B-side is on these. The B-side is Questions of My Childhood on the Kansas one. And the B-side on Manfred Mann's Earth Band is Starbird Number 2. And the last of the top 40 at 40 tracks for this month is Boz Scaggs' Lido Shuffle, backed with We're All Alone. So let's go ahead and get into the LPs, what we're all here for. First one, I got a dollar pickup from the local record store. Just went in there for a browse one day, just felt the itch to dig. So I went in there and dug and didn't really find anything. I did find one thing in the dollar bin that I grabbed, and that is JoJo Gunn, self-titled album here. With this killer cover artwork. Yeah, that's just love that photograph. Pretty cool stuff. Nice gatefold. Yeah, JoJo Gunn is a southern 70s southern rock kind of thing, country rock kind of stuff. Enjoyable to listen to. It's a buck album, and wouldn't pay much for it, but for a buck, for a really nice clean copy, went ahead and grabbed that. Next up, went to Jacksonville in early February to look at a car, and went to a record store that is in Jacksonville that I hadn't been to before. Fairly new, opened up in the past few years, I think so. It's called Wolfson Equipment and Records. It's kind of in a strange place. It's in a warehouse behind a Family Dollar, and it's just a big warehouse, lots of records. They have lots of vintage audio equipment. Yeah, really nice place. As I said, lots of records to look through, pretty well organized. The prices seem very reasonable. Yeah, so got a few things here. First, I guess I'll show the dollar bin pickups I got from Wolfson Records, Wolfson Equipment and Records. First thing I got here is the Spinners. I guess this is just a self-titled album by then. But this does have I'll Be Around on it. And Could It Be I'm Falling in Love as well. Yeah, for $1. Wanted to grab that. I like the song I'll Be Around and like the Spinners, and enjoyable listen. Kansas album here I think I don't have already, and this is their album Mask from 1975. Yeah, I've been talking a lot about Kansas's new album from last year recently, and saw this one and don't think I had it, so went ahead and grabbed it. Got an introduction to the world of quadraphonic sound, so a quadraphonic sort of demonstration record. I grabbed this, had some really interesting stuff on here. It has 10 years after I'd Like to Change the World, which is kind of normal, but there's a track on here by Morton Subotnick called Touch. That's an excerpt of that. There's Santana is on here with Oye Como Va. Miles Davis, Spanish Key. Yeah, kind of a weird sort of mixture of different genres of tracks all in quadraphonic, and sealed, or not sealed, but still in shrink wrap. Copy of that, really nice condition for $1. Had to grab that. And staying in that sort of electronic vein sort of things with Morton Subotnick, we have the Windham Hill electronic sampler, or the Windham Hill sampler of new electronic music, Soul of the Machine. I think I did pick this up at a record show in the year or so ago, one of the Gainesville record shows here, but wanted to have an extra copy of this just in case. For $1, I wasn't going to leave it behind. So yeah, just some really cool, very instrumental electronic. It's going to fit into that new age sort of genre, even though it kind of gives bad connotations to call something new age, but yeah, there should be some good stuff on here. Really interesting, so cool to pick that up. Still staying in the dollar bin. I don't know if this is her debut album or not, but one I didn't already have. That's Linda Ronstadt, self-titled album. I'm in trouble reading the date on this, but really nice gatefold, really nice textured cover. Yeah, just wanted to hear this, and for $1, like I said, I'm not going to leave it behind. And the last of the dollar bin pickups from Wolfson Records and Equipment, I got Jody Watley, Larger Than Life. Yeah, cool. Sort of a late 80s, early 90s thing here. 1989 was the release on this one. Yes, just some good R&B. Do have liked Jody Watley's stuff in the past. Hadn't heard this one before, so for $1, I will grab it and give it a spin someday. All right, then I picked up a couple records. The owner of the store is really into prog. They have a really excellent prog section, so I picked up some prog records. First one being FM's Black Noise. Get this pulled out here. FM's Black Noise. This is one I have wanted to hear for a while. Saw a nice copy of it there for $6, so grabbed it. Yeah, that'll be a nice listen. FM's Black Noise. Next thing up, one I have been looking for. Hopefully, I was hoping I would just stumble across it in a thrift store or flea market or something somewhere. Just hasn't happened, so I saw a nice clean copy of it there for $8, and that is a copy of Yes, self-titled album. 69 is the date on this one. I believe this is their first album. Yeah. Definitely didn't want to leave this behind. But as I said, I've been wanting to hear it for a long time now, and just broke down and bought it. I paid $8 for it, and I thought that was a good price. So, yes, self-titled. And then the last one from Wolfson Equipment and Records is Camel's Moon Madness. Still in shrink. This is a gatefold, and it's still got the shrink on it, so it's probably never been opened up, which is cool. This is another one that I've been on the lookout for, hoping I would stumble across it. Just never did. So again, for $8, I thought that was a fair price for it, and definitely want to hear it, and I know I can, if I don't like it for some reason, I can probably get most, if not all, of my money back for it, being that it is in excellent condition. So those are my pickups from Wolfson Records and Equipment. If you're ever in Jacksonville, Florida, look them up. I think it's a worthwhile stop. They got tons and tons of records to look through. It's a big place. As I said, lots of vintage equipment. The prices are reasonable. They're not super cheap. They're not crazy expensive. They're just good, reasonable prices, and nice people to work with. So check them out. Also, while I was in Jacksonville looking at that car, which I ended up buying a month later, but walked away from it at that point. We went to an Urban Outfitters. We don't have an Urban Outfitters here in Gainesville, so wanted to stop by the one in Jacksonville there and check out what they had. I do like checking out their clearance bins. There's usually some interesting stuff there in the clearance bins at Urban Outfitters, and pick up two things here. First thing I got here is sort of a modern art pop kind of thing. This is Aurora with All My Demons Greeting Me as a Friend on Glass Note Records from 2016, so fairly new release from her. Yeah, just some very art pop kind of stuff, electronic, dreamy kind of stuff. Kind of fits the artwork well here. You see nice gatefold. Yeah, picked that one up for $10 in the clearance bin. Thought that was a good price. Grabbed that. And the second one in the clearance bin that I grabbed is something I've had digitally for a long time. I really do like this album a lot. Never actually broke down and bought it. It was very pricey to begin with. It was around $30 to begin with. And it being just a single LP kind of thing, I just never got around to buying it. But that is the duo called Ibei, I believe is. They don't even have it printed on the sleeve here, on the outer jacket here, but it's sort of like some these two girls, I think they're sisters. They do like this sort of Afro-Cuban kind of modernized kind of pop sound. Really interesting stuff. There's them as babies, and then them now, or when this, I think this was 2015 is when this was released. Kind of an interesting packaging here where it has the two halves of the jacket sort of slides out, and there you go. Yeah, Ibei, eBay. Yeah, really weird packaging. Like the inner sleeve is like slit at both ends, so the album just kind of can fall out. It's a weird packaging, but great music. I have loved this. This is something that's sort of just on my iPhone, and it just sort of comes around every once in a while when I'm listening to music, and I really do enjoy this, and I'm glad to have it on vinyl. Never thought I would. Pick that up for, it was half price, so it's $15, and that's a much more fair price for a single LP album, I think. All right, that did it for the Jacksonville trip. Next thing I have to talk about here is the album of the month from Vinyl Me Please. They did a re-release of a very classic hip-hop album, and that is the album by Main Source titled Breaking Atoms. This one's got another friendly game of baseball on it, or just a friendly game of baseball. Live at the Barbecue. Yeah, just a classic hip-hop album here. Really cool that they did a reissue of this. Really nicely done. Nice sort of packaging here. Really nice and colorful. Do like that quite a bit. And they did this on sort of I don't know, egg colored vinyl here, I guess you could say. Looks sort of like an egg. Really cool, clear with the orange in the center there. Very nice. And they also did a really nice booklet with this one that you get sort of the lyrics, some photos, photos from the studio, a bit of the history of the album kind of thing. Yeah, really nice booklet that they did as part of this re-release. And then they also did a bonus 7-inch on purple vinyl, which is pretty cool. It's Peace Is Not the Word to Play remix and How My Man Went Down in the Game. So that was a nice extra touch to get that as part of the re-release. So yeah, that was the Vinyl Me Please album of the month. They've been doing a lot of hip hop lately, and I think even this April record is going to be another hip hop record. So they kind of been doing a lot of hip hop lately, which is good for me. I like it, and yeah, good stuff. Next thing I have to talk about here is the Feed Band's record of the month. The record of the month for February is the band Showboat with Stowaways. Or Shrugboat, I'm sorry, not Showboat, Shrugboat. The album Stowaways. Shrugboat are sort of an instrumental electronic group, somewhat of a chiptune kind of sound. Really neat stuff here. They did this really cool smoky vinyl. I really like that. Feed Bands is all about featuring unsigned artists, and this Shrugboat release, they just took some of their more higher rated tracks and made an album with it. And yeah, it's sort of like a electronic chiptune kind of thing, a bit more sort of fast paced and a bit more upbeat, maybe a bit more danceable than more ambient electronic stuff. It's more of an instrumental kind of upbeat electronic kind of music, but not like techno or anything, just more of just sort of an upbeat electronic sounds kind of thing, very rhythmic kind of sound. This sticker as well is cool. Shrugboat with Stowaways, the Feed Band's album of the month for February. If you want to check out Feed Bands or Vinyl Me Please, I'll have links down in the show notes below for you to check those two services out. They're the two that I'm subscribing to right now, and I like them both. Next up, I got a stack of stuff here from Goodwill. They're still doing 10 for $2, so I picked up 10 things. And first thing I got here is a 7-inch single from the Communards, Don't Leave Me This Way, and Sanctified. Of course, the Communards feature Jimmy Somerville after he left Bronski Beat. So I got that one. And then the second one I got here is Suzi Quatro and Chris Norman with Stumbling In, and A Stranger to Paradise. A lot of times when I do the 10 for $2 things, I'm just throwing in anything at all that's sort of somewhat interesting to me. And if I end up not liking it, it's no big loss. I got a German folk record here. This is Reinhard May with Kein Ruhig Minuet. Not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but it's just some traditional German sort of folky, James Taylor was German kind of thing. Nice gatefold with photos there. I'm sure people in Germany know Reinhard May quite well. I'm sure this is something that's all over the place if you go to a thrift store in Germany. But around here, it was something I hadn't seen before, so I thought I'd give it a try. This was the main reason for me picking up this stack of records. It's a bit rough. My friend Mike here in town actually checked this out and left it behind, and he went back to get it at some point, and I had already picked it up. That is Ice-T, the Iceberg album. This was just sort of out of place being there at Goodwill. The vinyl itself is pretty rough. It plays through okay. It's pretty noisy. It's more of just a piece to have. For 20 cents, just a cool pickup. Just to hear a little bit of it. It's pretty cool. I was hoping that would clean up a little better than it did, but it plays okay, but it is noisy. There's definitely some pops and clicks and stuff, but it's Goodwill. What are you gonna do? See this one all the time in thrift stores and thought I'd grab it. I hadn't heard it in a while. I think I had this on CD or cassette at one point a long time ago, but that's the Harry Simone chorale with the little drummer boy. This is just a nice copy, still in shrink, so grabbed that. They had some Jerry Rafferty albums that I didn't have before, that I hadn't seen before. This one I think is just a self-titled 1974 Jerry Rafferty. Looks like it ought to be pretty good on Visa Records. Another copy of Switched on Bach. Couldn't leave that one behind, so grabbed it even though it's something I already have. Possible upgrade or trade or VCLT or something like that. Another one I already have, but check out, make sure it's not, see if it's an upgrade kind of thing. Jerry Rafferty's City to City. Of course, his classic one, the most popular, well-known one with the Baker Street on it. But a good album, good solid album all the way through. Another one from Jerry Rafferty, The Night Owl. This one is from 1979, it looks like. Very cool. Love the artwork on these. Yeah, Jerry Rafferty, good stuff. And last but not least, from the stack here today, we have Jerry Rafferty with Snakes and Ladders. And this one is from 1980. So the newest one I have here. Yeah, again, really cool artwork on this. So those are my pickups from February 2017. Hope you enjoyed this little show and tell. As I said, I'll be back to making videos as soon as I possibly can, as soon as I get back into a rhythm of sort of making time to film videos, making time to edit videos, all that kind of stuff. We'll get back to it. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all are finding some great stuff. Get out there and dig. It's springtime, starting to warm up. Feeling nice outside. Hope you're getting out to some record shows and some record stores and stuff like that. So have a great day, great night, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.